So I was perusing Amazon the other day like I do, and I came across this little cooler here, the Arctic Freezer 33TR, which is intended for Ryzen THREADRIPPER CPUs. It's a dinky little cooler. It's only $45. It has a single 120mm fan and a single small heatsink tower. And I'm looking at this thing going, how is this little cooler gonna cool a monstrous CPU like a 1950X, which is a 180 watt TDP chip? Apparently the max TDP that this is rated for is 200 watts. So, I don't know, I just had to buy it and test it out today. And I think it's pretty relevant because second gen THREADRIPPER is right around the corner. I think more people are gonna be looking into maybe low cost or air-cooled solutions for those chips. And they're probably gonna wonder if this is any good. So it's also interesting because the reviews on this are pretty positive on Amazon. 4 to 5 stars, 55 reviews, but upon further inspection, you'll notice that most of those reviews are talking not about the Freezer 33TR model, but the eSports 1, which is similar to this one, but is only intended for mainstream Intel and Ryzen sockets. So out of those 55 reviews, maybe only 4 or 5 of those are talking about this particular model being used with a THREADRIPPER CPU, because this cooler also supports AM4. And out of those 4 or 5 reviews, it's pretty much split down the middle. Half of them are saying, yeah, this cooler does what it's intended for and it's getting the job done. The other half are saying the complete opposite. So we're gonna get to the bottom of it today. It should be pretty interesting to see which way it falls. We're gonna be testing it along the 1950X, of course, with an Asus ROG Zenith Extreme. The last time I used this board, it didn't work. I'm not exactly sure what postcode error it was giving us, can't remember, but maybe we can fix it with a BIOS flashback or something like that. We have a GTX 1070 Founders Edition, a Gigabyte Extreme 1200 watt power supply, and we'll probably be using some configuration of G.Skill ThreadNZ memory. Yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and put our little test bed together. Man, my fingers are awesome. Hey, how about a beer? Whoa, nice. Okay, let's change scenes before this gets old. The Thermaltake Tough Power Grand RGB power supplies ship 80+ gold rated with a fully modular design, 0 RPM mode, and a quiet RGB fan that syncs with compatible motherboards and devices. Take your power delivery to the next level with the Tough Power Grand Series. You can click the link below for more info. Alright, so really quick, sorry for the crappy built-in audio of my vlog camera here. It's just the easiest way for me to show you what's happening right now. So the Zenith board is still giving me issues. I just flashed the BIOS, and we are now getting a different code. It's code 70, and it says updating EC1 code. Alright, and that actually spits out this screen, BIOS is updating, do not shut down, blah, 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 blah. And it's been like this for about half an hour. I've actually tried this several times over. I tried clearing the CMOS again, cutting the power supply power and doing all the basic troubleshooting steps, and still we're stuck at this screen. So I'm gonna shelf this board for now and actually head to Micro Center before they close to pick up a different X399 board, because this is really the only X399 board that I have on hand at the moment that's free. The only other one that I have is actually at home in my workstation computer there. So yeah, let's head to Micro Center and get a different board so we can get this video moving. Oh, look, hey, look at that. It's an ASRock X399 Tai Chi. And just like that, this video got $400 more expensive. You guys should really consider buying some merch. All right, we are finally in the desktop, and it feels oh so good. I have Ryzen Master open here as well as Hardware Monitor, just so we can verify that we are getting the correct temperature readings, and it's looking like they're lining up here. We're getting around 40-ish, in the 40s range, so it's not the greatest idle temps I've ever seen, but it's not terrible either, and it definitely gives us the green light to go ahead and put a load on her. Giggity. All right, so this is a THREADRIPPER test after all, so I'm gonna start off by rendering out a 4K file in Adobe Premiere Pro. Actually, we're using Media Encoder to do our rendering. I've got Ryzen Master right here. You can see the temperature, and yeah, we're actually giving this cooler the benefit of the doubt by having it on an open air test bed. I would reckon that CPU temps would be at a disadvantage had we put all this hardware inside of an enclosed chassis, so I guess it's got that going for it. But let's go ahead and fire this guy up and see what happens. All right, the temps are rising. 57, 58. You can see I have not overclocked the CPU. That's probably a given. We're starting off with stock frequencies here. Turboing up to 3.7. So So we are down to the last 20 seconds of our render here, and we just hit 62°C. That's our max temperature so far that I've seen throughout this whole render. So that's actually pretty good. I think after this test, I'm gonna go into the BIOS and do some overclocking. All right, we're back in the desktop, overclocked to 4 gigahertz on all 16 cores. What do you guys think is gonna happen when we run the same render test now? Let's find out. Wow, immediately spiked up to 58, 59, and we're pretty much where we were after a good 2 to 3 minutes for the first render, so we're definitely warmer. We've already passed the 62°C mark, and climbing. I think we're just about to hit 70°C. I can feel it. It's right there. Ah, there it is. Whew. Okay, so 70°C, and we're about halfway through our render now, a little over halfway done. I'm actually really impressed with this cooler. I mean, even in a case, I think this cooler would be pretty adequate. It's looking like it could do the job, especially, I mean, obviously you're gonna need a case that has healthy airflow going through it. You don't wanna put this in like a, you know, a suffocated case with poor front intake or something like that. But if you have a well-ventilated chassis, you could probably achieve very close to these temperatures. The other nice thing is that the cooler's fan is really quiet. I mean, I can definitely hear it from 2-3 feet away, but I mean, this test build isn't even in a case. So stick it inside of a chassis with all the other fan noise, it's gonna get drowned out completely. And our render test is done, just like that. I guess I could put a gaming load on here, but I don't really see the point, honestly. Most people buying THREADRIPPER are using it for workstation applications like Adobe Premiere Pro. And geez, this cooler surprisingly, to my surprise anyway, passed with flying colors. So I think our work here is pretty much done. Let's close this up with some final words. I don't know, guys. I'm still kind of scratching my head over this thing. It's hard to believe that a $45, very basic looking air cooler can handle all the heat coming off of a 16-core overclocked high-end desktop CPU. Maybe all of you saw this coming, and I'm the only one who didn't, but it just seems pretty impressive and surprising to me. And the other thing is that we are here at the office long after operating hours. They shut the AC off like 3-4 hours ago, and it's gone from 68 Fahrenheit to 77. So, and that was the temperature that this was tested in. Normally all my tests are done during work hours for the most part at around 68, 69 C or Fahrenheit, but not this one. And still it was able to pump out some pretty decent performance, all things considered. The other thing is that the quality of the cooler, I didn't speak much about the cooler itself. The quality is actually pretty good. Fan and heatsink seem well built. The mounting mechanism is smart and very simple, straightforward, without much fuss. The brackets though, the little dinky metal brackets that mount the fan to the heatsink are pretty weak, and if you use them a couple times, they start to wear out and get a little loose. But apart from that, pretty decent stuff here. Guys, we might be sitting on a hidden gem that I kind of just helped not be so hidden, perhaps. You guys let me know though, if you have any experience with the Freezer 33TR cooling a THREADRIPPER CPU, let me know how it went in the comments. I'm very curious to hear your feedback. Every user's experience is different, so you might have tried the same thing here that I did today and it sucked. But let us know in the comments. That's the only way we can really get a better idea of how this thing performs as a whole. So that's all I got for now, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Toss a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and get subscribed for more tech videos coming at you really soon. You can also check me out on FLOATPLANE for $3 a month if you want to watch all my videos a week early without ads. I'll put a link for that in the video description. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a good one, and I'll see y'all in the next video.